Good evening. It being 6 o'clock on June 3rd, I'll call the meeting of the Carver Redevelopment Authority to order. Attending is Pat Maher, Paul Casas, Joanna Layton, Savory Moore, and I am Sharon Clark. We'll go right into, well, first I want to say that the Zoom portion of the meeting had been withdrawn yesterday, and that agenda, the revised agenda, did not make it to the website. So anyone who's watching this who attempted to Zoom in, that portion had been canceled. And we apologize for the mix-up that the revised agenda did not get posted to the website. That being said, we'll go on to the updates with Jim Walsh, who is on vacation. So let's start off with the urban renewal plan. We had a really good meeting a couple of weeks ago with the Route 44 and the preferred developer, and Hillwood, who is starting to make inroads in the town as far as doing their due diligence with the different departments and boards, including our own. And this week, Savory, was that the Zoom meeting that you attended?
Yes, there was a Zoom meeting yesterday with John Woods from the town maintenance. DPW. Yep. And Jim was on the call. And it was with representatives from VHB, which are the engineering firm who is doing the design work on the Montello Street reconfiguration. And they presented plans which had been in front of a number of committees. This meeting was mostly to indicate what part of the road or what part of the properties will need to be turned over to the town for primarily drainage areas and areas for where water can collect closer to where the new intersection is going to be with 58. I don't know how familiar anyone is with the plan, but where Montello Street is now running alongside Aubuchon is going to shut down, and Montello Street will make coming north will make a left turn and intersect with 58 at a T with a set of lights, and with a left turn lane from the northbound side and a fairly sweeping corner to allow for the trucks to go in and out.
Sorry, and for the plaza right there, we basically just end up with, like, instead of Montello Street, like a glorified driveway for, like, the Dunkin' Donuts and the...
Yes, it'll be the entrance now to Aubuchon. Yeah. That's pretty much... actually, what Montello Street is going to continue down past Aubuchon, because there is a property behind Aubuchon that will still need access.
Got it.
So the road will be there, but it will dead end there.
Got it.
And I think there's approximately 35, maybe 40 feet between the new turn out to 58 and where the old Montello Street will dead end. There is one easement that VHB would like us to pursue. It's a drainage easement, and it's on the property across the street from what Route 44 development already owns. It is property that is owned by the same company that owns the Silo Marketplace. Whoever owns that, where Aubuchon is and the new Brewery 44. The owner of that, it's American something, but I don't remember. It's in my phone, but it's the property across Montello Street, and what VHB asked us to do was to contact the owner, and this was us. By us, I mean RDA in conjunction with planning, with Jim. to contact the owner of the property and perhaps go out with them with a plan to show them where this easement is going to be needed. And it basically, there, right where Montello Street kind of curves towards Plimpton, right where Park Avenue goes into the development site, there's already a culvert there that's going to be replaced. And what they want to do at that location is they want to put in curb cuts with a little paved valley to get water off Montello Street, and then they're going to put riprap down going into the culvert. The easement that we're going to be asking for is 1,200 square feet, approximately 15 by 80. And it's in a wetland area, so there's nothing the property owner can do with that property anyway.
Okay.
The question that I asked at the meeting is, had George or Bob made any contact with that property owner for any other reason, or even this reason? And heard back from Bob. The VHB sent an email, and Bob replied that he had not talked to them, but thought George had. So I guess we're waiting to hear whether George has made contact with them regarding this at an earlier date, or whether we are going in cold, because I think it's better to know,
If they've heard of it.
if they've heard of it.
Is that easement shown anywhere on these plans that they gave us?
How many pages do you have?
I have 4.
Yes, it's this one,
It's this one, okay.
right there.
So is that something we need to, that she's looking at? That was a handout or something?
It was emailed to us.
I didn't get it.
No, it was,
Was it just you and I?
Just you and I.
Oh, okay.
Because this was really a meeting with John Woods that we were invited to.
You got it?
I think I'm looking at it.
Oh, I have a non-color copy and then I didn't like that so much, so I made color copies, but I'll send everybody the link. You want to know where the easement is?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great.
It was,
This is where Park Avenue
Mine's
goes in.
pretty.
This
Yep.
is-
it
Okay,
was
right
this,
here.
so this is where,
Got it.
This property
I'll send you the link.
is on the west side of Montello, so this is the property that's already owned by 44.
Yeah.
This property is owned by the Advanced Group Carver. They're the ones, not American.
Where
The Advanced Group Carver.
I thought they owned,
They own the
okay,
silo
the
marketplace.
silo, that whole thing is a
Yeah.
silo. Okay, so those are the people,
Those are the owners.
and they want to do something there?
No.
I'm sorry.
VHB, George and group needs this easement on their property.
Oh, okay, needs that easement, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
so they need an easement.
Can I keep this?
Yeah, I'll
don't think it's
I'll shoot you guys all the link tonight for the 4 pages.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the easement, it's not, there's no transfer of property. It's just requesting an easement, a drainage easement on their property.
And they want us to do the first overture. Because they would be the granting authority for the easement to
Yes, they would be
Route
the,
44.
yes, they would be the grantee, but
Okay,
they've,
so
but
it's not a
VHB,
town-owned easement or,
no, it's their, it would remain their property.
okay.
But they want it, unless George has already made inroads with them, the thought was that we would have a meeting with the property owner on site
Okay,
with the plan, so we can show them exactly where it is and exactly how big it's going to be.
So is this the plan that you're
Yeah.
going to show them?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, that may, I don't know, is that the new one? Because there.
this was the one I got today or yesterday.
Oh, that's a little bit different.
Today or yesterday.
Yeah, I like the color one, you're right.
Well, I decided I would use my ink on that.
Oh, that's good. I had to buy more ink, I'm using too much ink.
Yeah, this is the new one, because the one that I was part of yesterday morning's meeting did not have the dimensions on it. It just had the square footage. So this one has the dimensions
Okay.
on it, that it's 15 by
So
8.
I'll make sure all of you,
Make
the
sure
rest
we
of you
get
get
that one
these.
and I'll-
Yep.
So we can, when Jim gets back, is Jim back on Monday? No?
Another week.
Another week? All right. I guess then we'll just wait to hear back from Bob or George, whether he's had talks with them.
Okay, I'll shoot them a reminder email,
Right.
and,
Yeah, Bob replied that
Right.
he would
Bob-
talk to George.
George must be the busy guy. Seems to be Bob, the one always replying to our emails.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just kind of like he was here that night anyway.
Right.
And said that he would be the go-to person.
but
Right.
if he needs to find out whether George had already spoken with these people.
He could do that internally too.
He can do that, then let us know.
Yeah.
And the idea would be that we would draft a letter coming from the RDA and the town planner on behalf of,
I'm saying no.
Okay.
I would say no because the drainage easement is going to be for drainage issues on Montello Street, which will be town-owned.
okay,
So it's really the town that's asking for the easement because it's drainage coming off of town property.
okay, so, but it's coming off the new Montello Street or the old Montello Street?
It's coming, that's existing,
This is the existing, oh, and the green is the new?
yes.
Is that, okay, okay,
But yeah, but that part, anything within the red line on your drawing, and we'll get this to everybody, is town-owned property.
right, so the street is,
So the street is. So the drainage issues are from the street. So the easement would be granted to the town. The drainage easement
Okay,
would be granted
I got
by
it.
advanced to the town.
I got it, but they don't, oh, but not on the other side because
No.
that's already owned by them?
That's already owned by them.
Okay. So do we need to get our own town engineers in to look at this?
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's an informal,
Okay,
this is, this is what the town would like to have from you, an easement in the wetlands to refunnel water into the new culvert that's going to help your drainage anyway.
it's going to help them, okay.
So I think that's the way to present it, and not have it escalate and go into,
The eagleys, the leaves.
yeah, you make it, there's no sense in making it more than it should be.
Yeah, plain and simple.
It's really a pretty simple thing as far as I'm concerned, but, as I said, it is wetlands, they can't do anything with that property anyway. It's
And is this behind, I'm not oriented properly now, is this behind the structure, the building that's there?
no, this is if you're going to look at it, it's almost adjacent to the old Shaws.
Is there a road that goes from the old Shaws back to Montello? I guess I'm gonna take a ride
I don't
there.
think so.
It's
Oh, okay.
it's right here. It's right here. It's Old Shaws. That's the Old Shaws.
Oh, okay, I was
It's
on
right
the,
here.
I was on the wrong end of the street.
It's right here.
Oh, okay, fine. I was on the wrong end of the street.
Okay?
That's why it didn't make sense.
So it's really,
So you're right, they would grant the easement to the
To the town.
town of Carver.
right.
Okay,
So, at some point, I think I don't know, I didn't know Jim was away for another week. I don't know how important it is how quickly that easement's needed, so I think we can probably wait till Jim gets back. and
is it a construction easement, or, well, that's a ways off too.
So,
Is it just a piece of the puzzle that they need solved?
They need to be able to, they
know
would
that
like
it's-
to be able to design the road so the water goes into that easement.
Okay,
Right now, it kind of does, but there's no curbing and no engineered path for the water to go
Okay.
there. It goes there kind of on its own. It's not really going to change much, except that they can't do it without having permission, because part of it is going to go into their property. Part of the pavement and the riprap that's going to guide the water into the culvert is going to be on their property. So that's really why they need the easement, because work is going to be done there.
and the town would maintain the drainage easement?
To whatever, to whatever's necessary. I'm sure that based on the other things that I saw through conservation, the culverts are designed to be pretty much maintenance-free. They're large enough to take care of any kind of water, and there's not a lot of silt traffic. It's not high flow water, so I don't imagine there would be much in the way of maintenance. I know that the culvert that they're replacing further north on Montello Street is they're going from a sort of a domed one to a larger one that doesn't have a bottom, so that water flows even better. And it seemed to me VHB knows what they're doing. And they also had there was a resident on Montello Street who had mentioned something about the DEP saying that the culvert wasn't enough and that a bridge was needed, and VHB went through all of the records with DEP and found nothing. There was no finding at all.
There was no determination at all.
That actually the opposite was true, that the culvert that they had designed to put in there was fine. So.
And they would design it and pay for it to be implemented even though we own it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they have to, on the larger culvert that's closer to 58, that is almost a flowing stream. So they have to take the culvert that's there out and then put the new culvert in without the bottom, but put it deeper because they need more soil compaction above the culvert to take the weight of the trucks that will be coming in and out of the facility.
Oh, wow.
So the roof of what's there now will be lowered, but the basement will be lowered as well, and not have a floor. So
Is this something that'll go through conservation?
we've already passed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did all the site.
With the culvert and the
Yeah.
drainage? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we had to continue it because that's where the resident came in and asked questions about, the bridge. So we continued it for 2 weeks, and they came back with a determination that there was no such concern.
Do you want me to set up a meeting with Jim for as soon as he gets back?
Jim was aware of this. I think maybe
Okay.
just an email to
Okay.
him would be okay, asking him upon his return to contact the owners
Okay.
and set up a site visit. I'm thinking that we can probably, as long as it's amicable and they don't have a problem with it, that it's something that can be decided on site.
Okay.
I don't think that we have to bring them in. I think, this is what we want to do. This is where it is. This is what the town needs. Are you okay?
And John Woods was in on all of the calls.
John was on all of
So he should probably be at the sidewalk.
He can be too, yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, okay.
And we could get someone from VHB as well
Yeah.
to be there.
So you have a contact with DHCD, so if you
It
have
was
this
the guy who held the meeting, Jim Acosta, I think was his name.
I was just
Yeah,
trying to
Costa.
make sure we gather all these individual people so that
I know, but
go back and contact them so that, you don't want the project to stop if you have to go back to Delhome or McLaughlin, and if you got the person that you can actually talk to.
well, yeah, I think that what Jim should do is to get a couple of dates from this owner of the property when they can meet, and put it out there and say, these are the 2 dates and times. Which can you make for the rest of us? I don't think that you have to have everyone agree that this is the time. If VHB wants to be there, they have to make plans.
They have to send a
They have to send somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
If obviously we'd like John there, but if Jim is the only one who can be there,
Right.
so
Are we going to be copied too? So if we wanted to take a skip and be a part of, is that?
Once it's set, I'll make sure that everybody knows the
Okay.
date.
Okay,
right. I don't really expect it to be
an issue.
or a long thing. I expect it to be 5 minutes.
But I'm just the kind of person that likes to always be there to observe.
You're there then.
I am.
Yes. We just,
You're first on the invite list.
Thank you.
and the reason we keep the emails between either me and Savory, or just Savory, and he sends it back to me, is that we open up open meeting law by when we copy all.
Yeah,
when-
true. Oh, yeah, that
that-
makes
So,
sense.
so at certain times when it comes through the chair, I can disseminate information I want you to have, like dates or these plans and things like that. But when they come into just one or two of us, when it's ready, it'll go out to all of us.
It's understood.
Because the email threads are they can be a little overwhelming. You open up your email and you have like 11 unread messages, and it's all the thread. Two or three people
Oh, yeah,
going back
yeah.
and forth, but I'm copied on all of them.
Yeah.
And I have to go back and read them.
Okay.
Thank you for sitting in on that meeting.
You're welcome. There's just one more thing I want to add.
ahead.
And it's something that I noticed on the plan after the meeting was over. And if you look on that plan.
Which cover?
The blue one.
This
Go
one
on with
right
the
here,
blue.
right here. This is where Montello Street makes the left and goes behind the Shaws, the old Shaws. They have dead-ended this and planted trees. I thought there was going to be some kind of a gate
They talked about a gate,
maintaining,
because there was a gate that could possibly be opened.
yep, but.
So can I add to that? Can I just add to this conversation?
Sure.
Great.
Of course, Joanne.
Thank you. Well, the flow, I might interrupt the flow. but
It's
now
hard
that-
with these things, so.
Now that you brought up those other people who live beyond Park Ave, there's two. Mr. Butler's one of them, and Mr. Massaquin, he owns a little piece, but he lives in Plimpton. After our initial meeting here last time, I personally went up to Bob Delhome, and I told him I had visited that site, realizing that Park Ave was going to have this huge sweep, realizing that we had talked early on about the traffic coming from Heather's Path or whomever, and I said to him, I want to make you aware there's just two residents left beyond that. Mr. Butler, his market value is around $263,000 assessed value. The other one is like 19 square foot. It's like 19,000 square feet. It's like 7,000 he pays, but he lives in Plimpton. So Joanna wasn't satisfied. I went and researched December 2019. I looked up our RDA meeting, which we had Marilyn and Will, so forth and so on. And guess who showed up? That second one, that person who lives he really owns a little bit of Carver, but he lives in Plimpton. And he came up and I said, oh, I remember that guy. He had a lot to say. But my point was, I approached Mr. Bob Delhome and I said, please revisit those people. Because we could be coming into some issues when they think that they're going to come into that road. How are they going to get out? They're trapped. They have to go all the way around Plimpton. They don't want to do that. He said, I like what you just told me. He took up what I told him at the meeting you and I had about getting rid of that house that's still there. And he actually went to the bog that Melville owns, and he took me up on what I said. He took it one step further. He went to Melville's property, which is still there, and there's a car in there that shouldn't even be there. So he went to the police station. So he's already working on the fact that I had said, do something with that house and, or the tall grass or whatever. But now he said he was going to take what I just said at the meeting and go to those two people and talk with George McLaughlin. Maybe George had already spoken with Mr. Butler, he wasn't sure. The other one is a small parcel. Why he has it, I have no idea. But he also has a mailbox and he gets mail delivery. So I find that strange.
That is odd.
But he lives in Plimpton.
Yeah.
So if we could just kind of look at it a little closer, so we don't get into some kind of mishmash with those two residents. Just speak with Bob Delhome and see how he's going to go forward with that.
I think we should bring it up with Bob and George. As I said, I noticed it after the meeting was over. Otherwise, I would have brought it up when everybody was on the phone.
Looking at the plan, what is this here?
That's probably,
I see the trees in front of it. I mean, is that like conservation group for that?
I don't, it could be.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't see it. I don't see it labeled.
Yeah, I don't see it on the legend, what that might be, but, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there another map?
No,
that
I
might-
think that's page 1, isn't it? Hmm. No, it's all the same.
Well, it's all on the other side as well.
It's on sheet 4 when you get your copy, and you'll see where the end of the road layout is. And they have drawn in 5 or 6 little trees, bushes, shrubbery,
Yep.
instead of the gate that we've talked about.
Yeah, well, gate, trees, same difference. No one's getting through that. I mean,
But there was a difference with the idea of the gate.
well,
The gate,
for maybe like a emergency, but if you're a resident, you're not getting through the gate.
Well, see, I don't think when they were talking about gates, I was always on this whole project, and we talked about it. And the people from Heather's Path, they wanted to continue to use that road. They were very adamant, the fact that there were going to be a gate there. Now,
You know what?
the planner did go to Plimpton and speak with, Marlene did go along with, maybe, not St. Clair, but we did go there and speak to the select board, one person, and had talked about this so-called gate. And they said, no, don't put anything. So it was kind of left up in the air.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's a gate, though, if the gate is closed, you're not getting out of your car to open the gate.
I'm wrong.
Oh.
You were right. This is at the other end. This is at the end right behind Aubuchon.
Oh, okay. Now I have to turn my head around again.
Because this goes in contrary. See, I was looking at everything. They were showing it yesterday. The rest of them they had upside down. So I was going, 1, 2, 3,
Right.
4. But no, you were right. This is the new road.
So all the north's
So
the same way.
these trees are the ones that are blocking off the dead end by Aubuchon.
Okay,
So this easement is on the west side of Montello
okay,
in the property behind Aubuchon,
okay,
but which is still not owned by them,
right.
but that's where it is. And
That explains why they own it from the silo, because it's right behind
yes.
their
Right.
property. Yeah.
And
it's
it
not across
also
the street.
explains, that the old Webby property between Montello and 58 is now owned by Route 44, which
Right.
is why we don't need that. So-
Right, because.
Okay, now that makes a lot more sense.
The Webby property is owned by Route 44.
Yes, right.
So everywhere I'm seeing Webby,
Yep, it's,
so these haven't even been updated for that. Was that meeting taped by any chance, do you know?
I doubt it.
Okay.
All
I mean,
right, so
this,
So my explanation was for naught, but it's for real.
it's for real, but I don't think it's based on my erroneous reading of the plan
Okay.
from yesterday.
But it should be at least thought about and taken up with sooner rather than later with George as well as Bob Delholm, that particular situation. Because this particular road takes a huge curve, and I'm not sure
That's,
how 2 people are going to get out of there. And Heather's Path, their problem is they're going to have to go the other way. I mean, we're not responsible for keeping this road open because they're going to close Montello after Aubuchon's, right? There's a certain piece, that's not...
yeah, they should be able to come out from the new
Yes.
opening,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Yeah,
which, to
they'll
be
come out.
honest, might be better instead of waiting at that end by Dunkin' Donuts where you wait forever trying to pull out.
yeah, I mean, there'll be a light there.
Right.
It's going to be a light, yeah, yeah.
I just want to go back to clarification point from Savory. On the easement, did you indicate that there'd be an inherent benefit for the current owner with this easement, with the,
There would be a benefit that it would improve the water flow.
For him.
For him.
okay, good,
It's an abandoned bog.
yeah. But
So
he's still, he'll get something out of it. It'll be, it'll
I
be
think
better-
we could-
better with than without.
yes.
Okay.
It'll better flow, it'll better funnel the water, because right now, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So the water that sits on Montello eventually works its way down into there, but this is just funnels it more quickly into the downstream flow that will go under the culvert and out the other side. So it's,
So that'll just make it easier for him to
right.
give his.
Yeah, there's absolutely no downside. There's no detrimental
Good, yeah.
issue, and probably a positive
Yep.
a benefit.
That'll make it easy.
It should. That's what I was looking at. So, anyway, sorry about that.
No.
Turning it upside down, I went, oh, now I get it.
It's always the first thing is get your north saw going the same way when you have a multi-page plan.
Yeah, but they didn't present it that
They
way
didn't
yesterday, which
show
is
it
why
that
I
way.
was a little confused during the meeting. Okay.
I think we should probably try and pull together just a short informal meeting with one or two members with Bob and George, or at least Bob, one-on-one. Because that's kind of where I saw a lot of this happening, just small meetings.
When Savory and I met with George
Yeah.
and Bob, what was not an hour, 3 hours, we really worked through a lot.
Right.
I asked a lot of questions.
And I see that as like one of the next steps now that we've had a bigger presentation and we have to keep honing it down to
Right.
like little sets of projects. So if you'll probably get a group email if I can talk to Bob, even if it's just Bob. If we can just have some further discussion about their plans, or bring Hillwood in as well.
What is it that you'd like to know right now?
I'm thinking maybe in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
They were attempting to try to get in touch with the North Carver Water District. I don't know if they had. They needed contact information. And I don't know.
Is Will still on that
Yes, he is.
water district? Because
Yes, he
they were going to contact Will.
Right. So when that meeting happens, I'd like to have one of us there. Just to hear the discussion rather than have it reported back to us secondhand, or even by somebody who attended it. If we're going to stay on top of this whole thing, then we have to carve out little bits of time to attend some of these meetings, and if we can have them here in Carver, that would be best.
If you don't mind, because I opened that door to Bob Delholm, I would like to continue that conversation I opened for him to get some just feedback and see other things as well.
Yeah, and those are the kind of questions that come up under little, small, isolated conversations that we have, saying, as we're moving this down the way, maybe we should look at this and that.
Okay.
So is there actually anything else on that? Oh, I have some dates. Where did I write them? I wrote them someplace that I was going to use. They gave me 4 dates to do
For the site visit?
for the site visit. 4 Saturdays.
19th, 26th,
Are we into
10th,
June?
and 17th, I think.
Yeah.
So it's
there's-
June?
There was 2 in June and 2 in July.
June
Okay.
19th, 20, but all Saturdays.
All Saturdays.
Okay.
19th and 26th, and then skipping July 4th, and then going to the 10th and 17th.
10th and 17th, okay.
And I told Bob
Did
that
they give a time yet?
No, I told, he's going to let us choose 2. I said I would like to have 2. And they would be disseminated as mostly invite the town boards and committees and such. And then the other one might be a public hearing kind of thing, because they'll all be posted.
Yeah.
So
Make
there'll
sure you
be-
post it so all 5, 4, or whatever to be there, so it's.
Well, I can
Just post it.
I can post it and then post it on the website.
Right.
Because Bob wanted to know, like, a number of people. He wanted numbers. And I said the best I thought we could do was some kind of a sign-up sheet somehow, either electronically, or they wanted to have an idea of how many people to expect. And I wanted 2 dates because some people may not be able to make it in June. I wanted to wait till after school got out. So I think I told him the ones I was looking at, and I was going to run it by the board tonight, was June 26th,
Okay.
which is the last Saturday in June. And then, like Savory said, the 17th. Those were the exact two I was looking at.
The 17th as well?
July, I wanted to offer 2 so
Yep.
that members of, say, the planning board or the water district, they couldn't make one, but they might be able to have 2 options is better.
Yeah.
Rather than have anyone complain that we only offered 1 and I was
Right.
at Scouts that day or something, that they couldn't make it. So is the 17th and the 26th good for everyone?
Yeah.
Not at all, but that's okay. I've been there a lot.
You've been there, yeah.
My question is, what is your reticence in doing the first 2 dates, the 19th and the 26th? The reason I ask is that the clock is ticking. You know, the sooner we get the people out there, the sooner the questions that will arise that need to be answered.
So today's the 3rd.
Right, but if we go, the 19th and the 26th, put it out there. These are the 2 dates.
2 for June?
2 for
Yeah,
June.
2 for June.
Want to do 2 for June?
June.
Get it done with. Because if you get to the 17th of July,
It's kind of late.
People are on vacation.
That's a whole,
by the time you get the answers, now it's August.
You're right.
yeah, you're right.
So I think
That's why I bring these things to you.
that I think from
Sometimes
the
I just can't
standpoint,
think.
I'm worried about the clock.
Okay.
And getting everything ready, because these are questions, we know what happened with the planning board, the questions they raised, and we need them to see what is being planned out there, and we need them to come back to, if we have another joint meeting, and say, okay, we've seen everything, we're good.
If I could add 2, the only person I noticed that ever took one of these is the chief. Everybody that sat back there, they didn't even take one.
Well, everybody
The
else,
North Carver of the Water District,
I think they handed,
the Select Board, nothing.
are you talking about our last big meeting with
Yeah, when they
everyone?
handed out this map and everything, and it was all here, and the
Yeah.
dog and pony show that we had, there was some people sitting in the audience, such as the North Carver District, and they didn't bother but the chief came forward and he took his. And I bet you the chief has it so that all of his department is looking at it. And, there was select board people there too, and they didn't bother getting up. And I'm saying to myself, I'm sorry, town, but this is important, I'm sorry.
Yeah. How does the board feel about the first 2 dates in June then?
I'll be
We're
in
good?
Florida. But
Huh? You'll be in Florida?
I'm one human, and we shouldn't. I appreciate what Savory's saying too. Like getting people out there faster is more important than what. I mean, I've never been, but more important than me only being there. So I don't want to hold things up. I'll be in Florida from June 19th until July 6th, and then, as it happens, out of pocket on July 17th. So I can do the 10th, but
Well, we can have the board escort you personally.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I can do, and I'll be honest, I can do any time.
Okay.
Those 3 days happen to not be great for me, but get everybody out there when we can get them out.
You can't delay your trip a couple of days, no.
I tell you what, if you all can call my kids and get them to be okay with missing on the first couple of days of Grandma and Grandpa, then sure.
I have a question.
No,
If you
speaking as a grandma, that's just not allowed.
I'm not that good of a negotiator, so.
Can I make a comment through the chair? We want to spread this project as out. I don't know why we can't invite Area 58 to come and video while we're there, so the questions could come up and the answers, and they can put that on their Area 58 so the people can now see it. It's open. Because we were talking about how we're going to get people to understand what's going on. I think that's a great way.
Joanna, I think that's a good idea, but I don't want to spring that kind of thing on it because they may want to have something more prepared or nuanced for an audience.
Who, Area 58?
No, Delholm and George.
Oh, okay.
I think they may want to have something a little more nuanced than bringing a group of either the town's boards or individual towns where questions may just come flying left and right. And some they might not have answers for yet, some they will. But I think they may want to have something a little more prepared as mapped out. I'm just guessing, but I think that's a good idea.
But I think you should ask them, because
Yeah.
we need to make a presentation. Area 58, I mean, I've worked with them, Area 58, Richard Goulat before.
Yeah.
When we had that big depression in 2010, we were losing all our homes here. And I was on a different board then, and I wrote the script, but I interviewed the people, and they were photographing the people that answered. And when they edited it, they cut me out, obviously, which they should have. But the only thing you saw was the result of the police chief or the fire department talking very fluidly, only really they were answering the things I had asked them. But they edited it such a way that it wasn't me, it was just them, and it was really a good presentation. So
I will
venture to
definitely-
say- I would venture to say that we should try to do something.
I will definitely ask them about doing a public service announcement of some sort.
Yeah. I'll be right on writing it.
I think that we have to look at the site visits as being more fact-finding than questioning. You know, let people go out there and take a look and develop their questions, and then come back and have a joint meeting again with planning.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And maybe get a single representative from 44 and Hillwood. We don't need the 5
Yeah.
people. We don't need their whole entourage. You know, that because they will have known that the site visit had taken place. So it's let's get the same group of people back, except for all the representatives. Let's get all the planning board members who had questions back here. Let's get the water district, the police, the fire, who have gone on the site visit now come back into a joint meeting saying, okay, now that you've seen it, what additional
Yeah.
questions do you have? And conversely, what questions that you had previously are now answered?
You know, the one I might think of too is, and I'm bad with the names, but the gentleman who was like, doesn't actually work for Hillwood, but is their engineer.
Matt.
His
name is Matt.
Knew everything that was going on. That's the guy we need, because he's the guy who can
Yep.
spot on, here's what it's going to look like, and I think he can do a better job of visualizing the actual plan than the other gents, I think, who at this point are still more conceptual.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that would be fine, but I think that, you know, I don't think that, I don't think the questions that will be raised on the site visit are going to be the final questions that people have. They're going to
No.
go back and think about it, and
No.
I think it's
And I'm not sure they should.
no, I don't think it should either.
So there were so many people, especially on the planning board, who said, I've never even been out there. And I think it's
Somebody
imperative.
didn't even know where Montello Street was.
Right.
Hello? They live in
So-
Carver on the planning board?
But, so I think it's imperative that they get out there. I'm sure someone from the North Carver Water District has walked the property at one point or another, but it's imperative that they get there, and other members, chief and the fire chief's probably never been all the way back there, or other members. So that's the point of this, as much as maybe inviting anyone who's interested to come out and see it as well. But, because I don't think we can stop them. But the idea is that Bob would like to control, or not control the number, but at least have an idea
Right.
of how many. So I'll have to think quick for a type of sign-up sheet or something, but we can get this announcement as soon as Bob confirms with me, probably by Monday. I'll give them those 2 dates. Then we'll get it up on the website. I'll send an invitation out to each chairman of the board
Right.
through Jim when he gets back. Then I'll send it again for when he comes back, actually comes back. It'll be higher up on his email chain.
Don't forget the meeting time.
Nope, it was going to be set for like 9 in the morning. They wanted kind of 9.
Let's hope it's not a rain day like it was today. Ooh. That was crazy. All of a sudden, hello, why does the rain come up?
All right, so I'll send those dates to Bob and confirm those.
Right. And when you
Within a-
invite the other boards, you have to make sure that they know that they will have to post their meeting as well. Because if they have if they have a quorum.
Oh, I'll
it's a meeting.
remind them.
So if planning's going to have 3 people out there or 4 people on a particular day, they have to post that as a meeting.
But they may be able to split it up then with the 2 dates. Okay,
Maybe, but still,
but remind them.
Still
but
post
still,
it.
anything more than 2 is open meeting law.
Right.
So even if they split it up 3 and 2 or 2 and 3, you're going to have one that has to be posted.
Okay.
And the same is true with our group.
Same with True.
It's our group too.
Yep.
Just post it.
But we know Paul won't be there.
Sorry.
I mean, we always, when we used to do those
But you
site
may not
visits.
have that problem because I can't. can't do it.
Well, we used to do those.
That's still 3, so.
When we
Yeah,
did those
true.
site visits, Will being the chairperson, he posted it as a open meeting for us. so
Right, it was a
that
site
anybody
walk.
could show up.
So, all right then. So I have a lot of emails to do tomorrow. Luckily, Ron's going out of town, so I'll have plenty of time to do it. Forest Street.
Forest Street.
Let's see.
Sorry, just to backtrack. On the meeting that was held on Wednesday, the timeline on this is quick for what they want to do with the road. They're planning on advertising the bid process before the end of this month.
Wow.
Getting bids in by July 15th, making a decision by July 31st, and starting construction August 15th. So,
So you saved the best for last.
I was so concerned about the upside-down map that I forgot about the timeline. But that's
I might
what
have
they're-
led with that, so that's,
Well,
that's pretty tight.
that's more Jim than us.
Yeah,
Because
well-
he's the one who has to post it in the paper and get it out there. But when you said time, I went, oh, wait a minute, there's another time thing I got.
So that's all this is being done with the Mass Works grant?
This is all the road.
Yeah.
This
So
is
that
all
was like
Untitled Street.
3.2 plus what
The other-
44 had added?
800,000.
Yeah, it was 4 million even.
400 even?
4
million even,
4
yes.
million even.
Wow, that's a massive change.
So they plan on posting, when did you say, the 1st of the month, 1st of July?
Or they have
Or-
to get it in, I guess, 2 weeks prior to the bids. They have to.
Bids, and then pick somebody and have them
Yeah.
ready to shovel ready by end
August
of.
15th.
Oh, okay.
What would it be?
And Jim was in on this call, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, he was, he was the one who was saying, well, if you want to do August 15th, backing to this, to this, to this, we have to have something in the paper by the end of June.
Okay.
So that's why this plan and the property, what the town's going to own has to be agreed upon, and also the easement.
The easement, so we have to
So-
do,
So I just took a note, they're going to advertise into June. What was the next section?
Bids on the project were due July 15th.
Oh,
The winning bid would be chosen July 31st,
okay.
or 30th, I guess is a Friday, and construction would begin August 15th.
Oh, August 15th, wow.
so they need the agreement of the easement in place by then.
Yes.
And you said something about what the road the town owns?
Well, this basically was delineating what the town would own,
Okay. Yeah, okay.
all right? Because I believe that the easements that are on their property would be turned over to the town. I'll look again.
Right, so that's probably the biggest thing that we've got to get done first, is contact the group and contact the owner. All right.
Yeah, it's not exactly clear on these maps.
Okay. Are we all set? Anyone have any questions? So expect some emails from me in the next few days. Going on Forest Street, the town did a diligent search to find the original MOU for Forest Street and what we thought might have been. Will Sinclair remembers seeing a deed in the MOU, and that it was never recorded and it was never found. It's not in what Elaine referred to as the deed safe, which I didn't know we had one of those, but it wasn't there, so the process was to send certified copies of the town meeting article that gave from the treasurer tax collector to the Board of Selectmen, and a few months later in 2015, the Board of Selectmen turned it over to the RDA, and we had a certified copy of that vote. I had the working copy, which Joanna had, of the MOU, and that was sent, and they have come back with the PNS, a working copy, which, did everyone get that? Everyone, did you see it, Joanna?
No. When did you send it via email?
Yeah.
I look at Exchange all the time to see if it goes to the Carver org thing, and I don't see
See, I
it.
usually send your email to your other one, Comcast.
Okay, I don't think I got it.
I have a copy that I can give you, because I thought you would probably want to look it up.
Definitely.
Yeah. But we have a copy of the PNS, and we have, they're working on the MOU, which I think will go without any changes. I can make another copy so you can.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
I'll double check all the attachments that we were getting this week and make sure that they get to you. Do you have?
packet already?
Well, I'm just going to say, you know what? Guess what? It's in this packet.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't get it beforehand, so I'll give it back to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she put it in the
Yeah.
the packets.
Okay, I definitely go through it and read it, no problem there.
So that's the, yeah, that's the purchase and sale agreement that we can sign when we're ready. I mean, take a minute to read it, and it doesn't need to be notarized, so I think we can probably leave it with Jim and sign an original copy with him. All of us come in before you leave. Gotta keep, I asked
Was
for all
there-
your vacation days.
Is this anywhere, oh my God, look at all the add-ins.
Yeah, so take, since we just got this, so take a minute to look at it. I know you're far more experienced at these.
Yeah.
And mark it up and let me know what you think. They will create a deed out of this that will be from the Board of Selectmen to the RDA, and then the RDA to Jack Williams.
All of which will
whatever-
be recorded.
All which will be recorded. The MOU that we'll have to abide by, that will also be attached to the deed, and we can also discuss, I have another agenda item discussing authorization to sell, or people to sign for the RDA. So for right now, just take this home. I want you to have a chance to look
Yeah,
at it,
I'd
Joanna.
like to, I'm not going to do that tonight, are we?
No.
Please, oh, thank you.
No, my plan is that since there doesn't really seem to be any hiccups in the road as far as Jack is concerned, we've got to get all the paperwork settled here by, at least by the end of the month.
Well, our
So
next meeting, this will obviously be approved.
this should be all settled. So we'll set the next meeting, and
Yeah, I'm going to really look at it, thank
I
you.
want you to look at it, and then we also have to have the MOU, which we don't have yet, to
Are you
look
going to
at.
use the working one that I have?
We sent that on to Catherine Klein.
Because they all signed it. The select board all signed
They
it.
all signed it, and then, but we need the original, so we haven't got original signatures, so no one can find it. The only thing I didn't look is in Will Sinclair's big binder that he supposedly left down in Jack's office, in Jim's office.
He was in the habit of never keeping anything. His habit was always to walk in the very next day after a meeting. He would take everything that he had collected and he will give it to Deb Deneen. Deb Deneen has quite a collection of stuff. So
Well, he
I
used
would
to come
start
in with that
her.
great big binder, and I never really knew what it was.
I would start with her.
No, I'm done looking. We're
Not you, but have her if anything.
They supposedly did a search between the planning department and the select board,
Oh, yeah?
and didn't find anything. So no originals.
Planning department?
Well, that's where Deb Deneen would be.
Well, she takes care of us as an individual, not necessarily part of the planning department.
Well, she's down in the planning department. Jim did a good search.
Oh, okay.
He got access to, he didn't have access to, like, the prior emails from the prior planners, but he got access to those, and it wasn't in there. You know, he was looking in certain dates. Like, we knew it was signed, turned over in August 6th of 2015, and there's no attachments or threads of any of that. I think they must have signed that working copy.
Did you approach Will about signing it? Did he ever remember?
The only thing Will remembered is that he saw it with Stephen Cole. And
Oh.
Stephen was supposed to take it to the Registry of Deeds. But that's like two planners. That was Jack Hunter, Marlene, and then Stephen.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm not sure that it was there either. I don't know where it was.
Unfortunately, we have to have a
But we can recreate it.
can keep our stuff in.
We were able to find all the proper votes. That was a big deal, finding the votes. So we have the authority chain, the chain of command through authority, and now we just have to execute the proper deeds. And the select board can sign them at a meeting, and the MOU, we can sign at a meeting, and that'll just all be attached. And we just have to make sure that there wasn't anything different in the MOU. They were just using the same boilerplate that they used for all of them.
Well, if you want, if we go by the one I have, that's
Yeah.
typical boilerplate.
Yeah, it's exactly the same on all the parcels that the RDA sold in 2009, 2010, 2011. It's exactly the same, so 10% gets sent to us. The other thing is that we had a bill from Catherine Klein. Did you see that?
No.
It's in your packet. For $565 for her work so far on this. And the only thing I wanted to check with before we authorize full payment on that is how much of that was done because the select board lost everything.
Right,
Is it that we don't have it or they lost it?
right.
So I'm just being a little picky about that.
Well, I don't know. Pick your battles.
Well, that's, that's.
It all comes from the same pocketbook.
It kind of does, but,
It does.
yeah.
Now,
A different trail to it, but it all comes from the same.
in the MOU, I believe, the administration percentage, I think it's 15%. I mean, yeah,
I think it said 10.
And I say that, what I said, only so that 90 Forest Street comes off our agenda.
Oh, my God.
you're kind of sick of it?
It's been a long time.
I thought the MOU was,
There'll be a lovely bottle of something sparkling.
I'm going to have to check the MOU.
The MOUs, I believe, said 10% on,
I thought we raised it up to 15.
okay, so I will look at further ones.
Yeah, we have to look at that.
Okay.
Actually, one way to recoup it is we're supposed to be paid in that MOU.
Yeah.
The 15, we'll say 15%. Everything that we've spent, this would be included. this Kathleen decline and everything. The fact that that survey was taken with how many times, and I got the numbers, we'll get them. And we can add this one too, because that's the way it goes down. Everything that we spend when we have a piece of property, until it is sold, everything that we spend, and when it's sold, off the top of that check comes, money goes back to the town because it, property taxes and so forth. MOU comes off, but the check at closing is written to us, the Carver Redevelopment.
I understand.
And then we write the necessary checks, and then the selectman is supposed to give us reimbursement.
Okay.
Or we can take it, I think we took it, I remember we took it right off the top. So say, for instance, it was 400,000, whatever the property, 150.
Yeah.
And say the property tax is up to 17,000, so we would get that initial check for 150,000, and then we would disperse back to the town from the treasury how much money that property tax was, and then we would take out that 15% of, say, whatever was attributed to us, and then the rest of the check we would write back to the town of Carver to go into the main fund. For the general fund, we would write that check back to the town of Carver. That's how we did it.
So the 15% plus the other expenditures would come out of the remaining money after taxes were paid, and then whatever's left
Yeah.
goes back to the town.
Everything, and yeah, all these expenses would come out, and what was ever left, the residual.
So you're saying the proceeds check for these properties you had sold before I came on the board would be made to the RDA?
Yes, correct, yep,
So the entire proceeds check? Okay, I heard it differently, so.
that's right. And don't forget, we dealt with a real estate agent, so there was a commission piece that was taken off of that too.
Okay,
No, we didn't take it off the bottom line, we just got the whole check, and it got deposited, and then we would disperse based on the expenses we had, and whatever was left, we would write the check out to the town of Carver, and they would deposit it to the general fund.
so you would make a check out to, if it had been tax title property, you would make, money would go back to the treasurer tax collector's
correct.
office?
Yeah, she would have, and I don't think we've asked her yet, Catherine Kay, what's her last
Yeah.
name? She's the
Kathy Kay.
tax
Yeah.
collector. We would have to ask her, we should probably get a number on that.
Well, yeah, we should probably start pulling together numbers. All right. I'm going to talk to Rick about the procedure because I believe I was told something slightly different, so I want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Well, there has to be a history, right, of things.
Yeah.
we did.
Excuse me?
There has to be a history of things we did in the past, which will say where the check.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
that's how we did it.
So do you want to vote to pay this bill tonight, or?
You could pay the bill, we'll just make sure we take it out of, when we get the money from the sale. I mean, you can pay it. It's due, it's something that we're responsible for.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we approve and pay the bill for KP Law.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it being unanimous. So we have a copy of the invoice,
Is it attached here?
and I have
It is.
checks.
Oh, yeah, 565, okay.
And I have checks. Okay, I guess so I can't be a little bit up. Oh, and we also have a bill later for Sue Hannon that we have to take care of.
Susan, right?
Yep,
Actually, the cover letter says, we provide the following choices with respect to billing for, and they said they could send 2 bills or 1 bill, but I suppose we can just use this as 1 bill and pay it right now.
yes.
Okay.
It contains both, right? The attached is for the 2 bills?
Right, well,
Two
I mean,
bills?
based on the letter, this was sent as just a description of what
Oh,
the bill was going to look like, and we had the choice of having it as 1 bill or 2 bills. But I think we can use this.
so you can use this as
As
the
the
bill
invoice.
in total, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I didn't put in anything for my title examining services that cleared up a lot of stuff for them.
Well, actually, you know,
She hasn't sent that bill out yet.
No, she hasn't. This is a
just
bill
this,
for April.
June. Yeah,
This is a bill for things that they did in April, so
Yeah.
we have to pay this. There are 2 more bills coming, or 1 bill.
right. Well, tonight, we're gonna transfer more money.
So they can either send 1 bill in late June for June 1st through 14 services, and a second bill sent by July 9th for June 15th through 30th, or 1 bill sent July 9th for the full month of June. So the cover letter does not refer to the attachment. The attachment is a separate.
The attachment is a separate bill.
Just April, yeah.
April.
So we've said okay to pay that, but there's more coming.
More
Okay.
coming, yeah.
Expect May
3 more
invoices
coming,
by
actually.
mid-June.
3 more coming, 2.
Well, I think we have to let them know what we want to do, and I don't know if Jim did that.
Well, this was sent to me.
Okay, did you tell them did we want 1 or 2 bills?
I only want 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be,
All right, so they should probably be notified of that.
Okay, I'll take care of it. Reply. 1. Got it. All right, so we'll table any further discussion about the purchase and sale agreement till everyone's had a chance to look it over.
yeah.
I mean, the idea was that we're aiming for June 30th. So if we can get this taken care of by our next meeting, then that would be great. And then we can just think, our last agenda item will be announcing the sale and the payout, and that will be it. Okay. Is there any other questions on that? Which we segued nicely into bills payable. And so we voted to pay that one. And we have 1 invoice from Sue Hannon for minutes.
Yep. 100 bucks. Yep.
Is there a motion to pay Sue?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, but we had it in our minutes years ago that this would be ongoing, the secretary, that we didn't have to make a motion every meeting to do it. If you want to change the rules, you
I
can, but,
do not want to change the rules.
okay, so we had.
So we only have to announce it's a bills payable.
That's it, that's right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So is there a motion to rescind that motion?
We didn't vote, so it's not a.
We didn't vote, so
It just
if
gets
no
paid.
one
It just
says
gets
any-
paid. It
just gets paid. Okay, that is awesome. And it was for $100. Sue will also be doing our minutes tonight from the tape.
Do we have you got so many references back from Indeed. Are we going to get a second person, or?
I have 1 or 2 names of those through those references, and someone who's made a personal recommendation. And my feeling is that I'd like to have 2 people who, if one can't do it, because our meetings are going to get longer, they're going to get more frequent.
Right.
That if we can't have one, I like to have one person here. So, with your permission, and I assume you guys don't all need to see
Be my
the resumes of the people.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the resumes were, some of them were very good, not a lot of experience in municipal minute taking or necessarily any business school graduates, or I think some of them might have been, you have to apply to something, if you're on unemployment. This could have been one of those jobs, because it went through Indeed, which is a big kind of,
That's a clearinghouse.
I got so many. After 3 days, I told whoever was doing it in the office for me, you have to stop. She was sending me a new email with 10 and 12 all attached, and I just hit print, and it would just like keep going and going. I have a stack, an inch big. And I did start going through them, and then a couple of people came through with specific recommendations for local people, and I liked that. So I did want to hire one more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Since we don't go through the planning department necessarily, this can be something that we just contact.
Well, basically, we have money, number one.
Yeah.
We can pay our own. We don't have to worry about the town, number one.
Right.
Two, Susan, I remember her when we first started in RDA. And I have no problem with the way she takes minutes.
Yep.
I would say that this, if you were interviewing somebody, I would use that as a guide and say, listen, we're very strict here because these minutes could become court cases. And that's the truth, as you well know. And so we have to make sure that we put some diligence to it. So that would just be my recommendation.
Well, does anyone have necessarily any objection to someone taking minutes from a filmed meeting?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't, no.
Okay, good. But she had contacted me saying she had a conflict for tonight, and she would be taking them off our taped meetings.
Yeah, no. I read through those minutes, and let me tell you, what did I do? Yeah. I put down some highlights because every member of our committee, we did so well interviewing. Every one of you, you really, really did. And I highlighted all this stuff because I'm going to use it as ammunition when I need to.
I was afraid you highlighted it for changes.
Well, no. They are not changing. Well, Joanna can do it. You know that. But no, I highlighted because I was really, really proud of this committee and the way it went down.
I've had a couple of people tell me they haven't watched all of it yet because it was a really long meeting. But I've had a couple of people tell me that they were impressed with the way we handled ourselves and going forward, what we need to do.
Yeah, so
those are the
Good
only
work,
two.
guys.
Those are the only two bills payable, right?
I want to move some money when we get to that point.
We are at that point.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, I'm going to apologize. Last week, or last time we met, Savory asked me to do 20, I forgot what it was, 4,000 something. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that when I got to the bank, simply because that's their money, and I don't want to put it into the checking account because you know what? I might spend it. And I don't want to spend it because it's their money. So I only pulled $2,800 to pay that bill, okay?
Okay.
But I did put $1,000 in addition from the other account. So there's $3,800, but of the 1,000 I did pull, we're going to need to put more because we're going to expect to pay these bills. She's going to send a couple more, but at least let me move 1,500, if you will, from
So
the money
moved.
market account, and I'll
So moved.
thank you.
Is there a second?
Thank you. Yeah,
How do you know you're not gonna spend that?
yeah, right.
She's
I'll
the
tell
only
you, if
one
it's
that
in my
hasn't taken
checking
a
account, I
vacation
spend
from
it.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second, thank you very much.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You may move the money at will.
Thank you.
So-
It'll be 1,500, thank you.
Okay.
As far as the treasurer's report, acting, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is, okay. The treasurer's report for May. As you can see, in May, I told you I moved $2,800 after the URP, and I moved out savings account 1,000 for a total of 3,800 deposited into the checking account. The bank, I don't know what time of the month they do their interest, but anyway, it was 5/28, and it was 25 cents for the savings account and 6 cents for the URP. So let me go back and tell you, the checking account has $4,115.59. In the money market account is $28,322.92, and in the URP account is $4,757.91. For those new people, I think, Savory, you can correct me, we're supposed to have like around 3,000 in that the URP account, and when it gets down, they're going to have to write a check to And they have done that in the past. The checks were like $5,000, which kind of boosted it up.
And
But at
that's
this-
money that Route 44 gives us.
Yeah, that's Route 40. So the your urban renewal plan has $4,757.91. The interest paid to date for the money market account is $1.21. And the renewal plan interest paid to date is 30 cents. The 3 got cut off for me anyway. I don't know if it's cut off for you, but I'll have to fix that. It should be horizontal, not portrait. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Anyway, that's the treasurer's report. So I need somebody to approve that.
I move that we approve the treasurer's report of May 2021 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Being unanimous. I have one other thing to bring up, and then we can go to members' comments, but is there anything else that would come under anything new?
What, say that again?
That's our agenda item, anything new.
Anything new?
Anything new.
We don't have time for anything new.
No, okay.
Got enough.
We don't have time for that.
The last thing I wanted to bring up is I gave everybody a copy of what's on record at the Registry of Deeds.
Is this it, the certificate
Yeah,
of
the
authority?
certificate of corporate authority, and it has Will Sinclair as the signer. So what I'd like to do is have a discussion and a vote on what we as a board want to have as signers. We don't have to use names, we can use offices or officers, whether you need one or both to sign. What do they have here? Execute contracts, deeds, bonds, in the name and behalf of the Carver Redevelopment Authority. Does anyone have any particular thoughts on that? I think we need at least 2.
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Call me Sharon.
To you, Chairman. In the past, Will pretty much kept everything close to his vest. I
don't do that.
I had a problem with that because he only gave us the end product. He never really reported sometimes the in-between, which we should have had.
I need to spread this out as much as I can.
Which we should have had. So, so I don't have a problem signing anything, but, so be you.
Well, I would like to make it as officers so that we don't have to go through this exercise.
So it should be the chairperson?
So the chairperson, vice chair, and/or treasurer.
Okay, yeah, the treasurer.
Yeah, offices
I
gives
would
us
think so.
flexibility for the future.
The offices give us a little flexibility because this is an elected board, we turn over.
Right.
I don't think it needs to be all 5 of us. Things like the MOU, the whole board signs. The deed can be signed by 1 or 2, or the whole board if we wanted to. But if, like the P&S, that can be signed by 1 person. The deeds that are on record are signed, the MOUs are signed by the full board, the deed is signed by Will. So this is just something, a bit of housekeeping I just want to take care of.
No, I think it's right. The offices should. 3 offices is more than enough to.
More than enough, and is it 1 or anyone can
Yeah,
act?
anyone.
Yes.
So anyone can act?
Yeah.
And I'll look up the boilerplate, but it's that if anyone can act, then you can be certain that the entire board, it's representative in the entire board.
Right.
So,
Right.
and if you don't have a problem with that, I can draw that up, and I'll have to see how it's notarized. I think our secretary would probably make it as a note, and we would produce something that looks like this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to go on record at the Registry of Deeds. It can, as long as it's not naming names. It can just be attached to deeds. It might be safer at the Registry of Deeds.
But
Absolutely.
We lost one thing, so
It's might be safer once it's recorded there. At least I know I can always find it.
Yeah.
So is there a motion to that effect, that the board authority will lie with the president, I wish.
President?
The chairman, vice chairman, and treasurer, any one
Or-
of those can act.
Chairman or vice chairman.
Or vice chair, or
treasurer.
Or the
treasurer.
treasurer. So moved, so moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
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 Okay. That will make things much easier for this board and the boards to come. So, chairman. And at the least, it might mean that a follow-up vote or a follow-up minutes of a reorganization,
Okay.
but those are all. I mean, when in my business, you double check to make sure whoever signed a deed had the proper authority, especially in boards, banks. You have to go back and see if they had a vote on record to make sure that they had the authority. Usually in municipalities, there's something attached to it, but this was just hanging out there, so we will fix that.
Good.
And then there'll be a recording fee from,
Yeah.
I'll get from who's ever the treasurer when we get there. So I'll have that for the next meeting.
Whenever that happens.
Huh? Whenever that happens. Is there anything else we need to discuss? Oh, the minutes, please. Has everyone gone through the minutes of the 6th?
No.
No,
I started to, and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
thank you very much.
hard to read.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
I don't know what to do with these.
Okay, I think that,
I think we need to watch the video and then have Susan Hanlon
Oh.
redo it.
You want to pay her to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this is like,
yeah, I mean, I started to, and it
I mean,
became
I had
convoluted.
marks all over the place, I forget
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is for
Both the
Both.
meeting minutes and the executive session.
ask Sue to, and we will pay her for.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that, if I weren't at this meeting and read this, I wouldn't have a clue what went on.
And those are the meetings of the 6th. Those are the meetings, the minutes of the 6th.
Yeah, April 6th, yeah.
April 6th. And what about the ones for the 28th? The 28th?
Which one, which one?
The 20th.
20th.
28th we
Oh,
approved, didn't we?
Yeah, we approved that.
We approved those because we needed the votes.
Right.
yeah. Look at all, they're perfect as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I didn't have one problem.
Yeah, and we have meetings for May 20th, which was the joint meeting.
That's-
Right, well, the joint
That was
meeting,
after,
the joint meeting we approved.
right.
And so it was it's the big, long minutes, the 6 pages.
Yeah, the May 20th, the one we just had at 6.
Right, the May 11th we approved.
Yes, definitely.
So she
Because he
she just
needed to
wants-
get those signatures.
Well, the May 11th was the joint meeting, and we just approved the planning board produced those.
We did, isn't that the one with the reorg?
No, the reorg was
Because we've
the
approved
28th.
that.
The
We-
reorg was the 28th. So we approved those because we needed to get Pat,
Okay,
at least on his way with the Rockland Trust. And we did approve the ones of May 11th, which was the joint meeting with the planning board, because we just used the minutes that they produced and
Right.
oh,
we just
yeah,
had.
they were supposed to add me as absent.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I wanted to be absent. So. I mean, I wanted to be known as being absent.
Can we just say you were tardy?
So we're approving the ones.
So we're going to ask Sue to reevaluate the minutes and redo the minutes of the 6th in the executive session. And then we have the minutes from our last meeting.
I'm moving to approve. I
Second.
told you guys, I'm very proud. I
Yeah.
just got all kinds of marks, but I'm using them as ammunition. But I really, really am proud of the fact. I think
Okay,
it was an
good.
excellent meeting, and it was well done by our guys.
It was well done. And it was like reliving it all over again. I could hear everyone's voices in my head.
Yeah.
Is that so? There's a motion to approve those minutes. Is there a second?
Absolutely.
Second from Paul. All in favor, say aye.
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 So the minutes of what
May
date?
20th.
May 20th are approved and may go into the record. I don't think we need to make a motion to ask Sue to redo the other minutes. We'll just,
No.
What, Susan?
yeah,
Yeah, no.
okay, we'll just,
Well, yeah, we should, because we're opening up that door to give her permission to do something out of the
All
ordinary.
right, is there a motion to request of Sue
Right.
to watch the tape and
And record the minutes.
re-edit the minutes for us?
No, she's not editing them, she's going to record them.
She's going to rewrite them.
She's recording them.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. You want me to ask her? I'll do it tonight.
Yeah.
Just tell her to keep track of her time. Yes. And I think I have the links to send her. Is there anything else anyone needs to bring up?
Yes. And it's something that I should have brought it up when we were talking about the urban renewal plan, but we got so on
Sidetracked?
on the meeting that was held. We have to move on getting a consultant
Yes.
on this, you know, to walk us through the process. And I'm wondering, I think with Jim out, that we've got to take the reins on this and
Okay.
not wait another 2 weeks. What
Okay.
we're going to have. So we had talked about Beals and Thomas, reaching out to them.
Beals and Thomas, and then there was,
What's the one I recommended? Is that the one?
and then this.
Beals and Thomas is Sarah.
Yeah, that's the one I
Sarah's
recommended,
company.
yeah.
But they have an expert in urban renewal.
They do. I followed up on what you said because
Yeah.
her name was pretty much primarily with the Cranberry Boroughs.
With
Yeah.
But I
more
dug
conservation.
into it and I followed up and yes, there is a.
Yep.
So it's pretty well known too.
Okay.
And we had talked about Fuss and O'Neill, but I think that they're probably too involved with the town. I don't, you know,
Let me just ask you.
it's
when
more
you-
about appearance than anything else.
When you talk about Futz and O'Neill, in here, Jim had a contribution here. He says, Mr. Walsh, this is when the guy Mac was talking. Mr. Moore, Jim Walsh, town planner, would be responsible for letting Route 44 and Hillwood know they need to meet with. And Mr. Walsh says, we also have a technical review committee that is another opportunity to meet with town staff. Matt says, oh, we would love to have the technical review committee meeting and then come out of that ready to set meetings with individual boards. I question that. Is that Futz and O'Neill?
They're involved in that.
They're the town technical review.
They attend the technical
Yeah.
review committee meetings.
Okay, so what's a technical review committee and with whom? I've
The
never
tech-
heard of this before.
The technical review committee is someone that comes to the town with a large or semi-large project or something that actually just raises any questions. But it's something where the Fuss and O'Neill comes as an engineer to talk about any questions they may have. The fire department comes to talk about access, egress, water, et cetera. They've all had the plans before them, so they come prepared with their questions
Okay.
to talk to the applicant. Conservation is involved, not the committee, but Brooke, as the conservation agent, comes to all of them. DPW comes to all of them as well. So it's really the town departments getting together with the applicant and the applicant's engineer.
So Joanna wrote a note. I think it's time for us to bring in our consultant.
Right, well, we need to get one first.
That's what I just wrote that down.
But are we talking about a team? The
No.
same as a technical review team?
No,
No.
not at all.
We're talking about-
They're kind of,
It's a committee. They called it a committee.
Well,
I think that on this particular project, that when the technical review committee is held, and Jim is involved too, as the director of
Yeah.
planning, that perhaps you should be the representative. There should be a representative from the Redevelopment Authority there. But I also feel that whatever consultant we decide to hire should be part of that as well.
I made that a special note.
Right.
that I was,
So,
so they'll go through the technical review anyway
yes.
with Futz and O'Neill, but we want our own reps in there.
Yes.
Okay.
And Fuss and O'Neill is just there to look at the plans from the standpoint
Well, they're
of-
paid by the town.
of the town.
Yeah.
And they would still have to be there because there's still the planning, zoning, et cetera, that has to be looked at. And Fuss and O'Neill is paid by us to make sure that all the i's are dotted and t's
Yep.
are crossed in that. But the same vein, the consultant, and I would not be surprised if Chief Weston requests that his consultant be in on that as
Which-
well.
Sounds like a good, yeah, sounds like a
right, right.
plan, really.
You know, because it's a big meeting, and it's almost the informal go.
So,
green light.
so from that those minutes that Jim said, then Matt comes back and he says, and then he would come out of that ready to set meetings with individual boards. Is that true? Is that how that was going to go down?
I would, my personal opinion is that that's backwards. You would want to, because they were talking, Bob Delholm was talking specifically about having informal meetings with boards to
Right.
get their take on
Yeah.
things, which is input that they would probably want to have to put into their plans before they
Put
go
in
to
their
the
plans
technical review.
beforehand, right.
So that seems to me to be a little backwards.
Okay.
Now, I did tell Bob that the next meeting of the Conservation Commission was on June 16th, if he wanted to contact Brooke for an informal come in and talk. I saw Brooke yesterday. She didn't mention anything about it yet. So I don't know, maybe it's too early for them. But maybe I'll just drop Bob a note and refresh his memory. Because even though Conservation generally meets every 2 weeks, or the first and third Wednesday of every month, because of when it falls in June, we aren't meeting again until July 7th. But if we have no public hearings for July 7th, we won't meet again until the 21st of July. So that's 5 weeks later.
Wow. that's a
So-
long
That's tough.
time.
You know, that's a long period, and
Right.
and I think that he should know that, just, you know, put that into his plans. Anyway, getting back to the consultant, I think we're probably going to meet again in 2 weeks. Is that correct?
That would be the 17th, so,
Isn't that what, or was it what was on your list?
I had the 24th,
Okay.
because I thought I
All
wanted
right, so 3
space
weeks.
between, and maybe we should have at least one of the walkthroughs done.
Yes.
One of the what?
The walkthroughs.
All right, so-
If the walkthroughs
yeah.
are set for the 19th
Okay.
and the 26th, if we meet on the 24th.
So I think I said at one of our meetings, either the last one or the one before, that I found online that there is a Massachusetts organization that represents urban development consultants.
Oh, okay.
And actually, Beals and Thomas was the first one listed,
Oh,
but
okay.
it may have been alphabetical. So,
Let's hope it's not.
yeah, I didn't look any further than that.
We had a match and we were good.
But I'd be willing to relook at that and come up with some names that we can go to. There's one thing that I think that we should get an answer from either Hillwood or
Exactly. I was
44.
just
Because when we asked specifically the question about the consultant, the representative from Hillwood did not say we would be willing to pay for that. He said we will be willing to help pay for that.
Yeah.
And that's two different things.
Oh, I got to tell you this one. I quoted that one.
Yeah, so, you know, before we can hire anybody, we've got to make sure that they're going to pay for it. You know,
Yeah.
Not
That's
help pay
right.
for it. But I think that it's worthwhile to have ready for our next meeting a list of 2 or 3 that hopefully are fairly local and can come to our meetings, and see what I can find. I'll see what I can find out as far as, you know, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever, what their rating is.
If we're doing it on the 24th,
Yeah.
You're going.
I'll be away, but, and I don't know what the logistics are with Zoom or not Zoom. That, of the 2 weeks I'm away, I'll be just at my dad's house that week. So if I had to join remotely that day, I could.
Oh, we could have
Okay.
Zoom.
That's
We'll
an
do
option.
Zoom.
I could
Okay.
do that day.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be good.
All right.
Thank God for Zoom, huh?
I know.
Saving the day. Can't go on vacation without being representation of the committee.
All right, then we'll I have your email, so we'll be in touch while you're down at your dad's.
Sounds
All right,
good.
so I'll come back on the 24th with a list
Okay.
of,
And then, what's the best way to approach either Hillwood or is it George? Who do we go through about? We're going forward.
We're still working with George and Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the preferred developers.
I don't even know whether they've gone to P&S yet. They hadn't. They talked about still doing due diligence to see whether
Yeah.
they wanted to.
Through the summer, he said,
Yeah.
on all of that. And-
Right. I would probably go to Bob and just say, you know, in our first meeting after the meeting with everybody, we questioned the exact wording of Hillwood's response. You know, between paying for
Yeah.
a consultant or helping pay.
Yep.
Okay, I'll
And we
send
want
it
to
to
make
him.
sure that it's pay for a response.
Yeah, they seem to feel very strongly we
consultant.
should do it. But
Yeah.
Yes.
we want to make sure how it's
Right.
going to work.
Yeah. I mean, Bob and George have to understand we don't have a budget.
We don't have a budget, and the town is not going to pay for this.
Right.
And I can't take it out of promised taxes. It might come in
Right.
3 years.
And you might throw in, since you're going to be asking that question, you might just ask if this, you know, or just say that we need the same to hold true for the fire department's consultant.
You know, one thing.
So we need some kind of a commitment,
Yeah.
preferably in cash.
Yeah.
You can send it to the View.
But we'll come back with a you know, proposal from you know, I think being anything like this, I think we've got to bid it out.
Oh, we do?
We
Okay.
got to have, I think so. I think that's probably the most transparent way to do it, is to get 3 names that are hopefully local, rank them by, you know, reviews, and,
What do you mean by local? Townwide?
no, I mean in this area.
Oh.
And there's no sense in getting someone from Pittsfield,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
because
because
it's a Massachusetts group.
the Beals and whatever we're talking about,
Beals
they,
and Thomas.
they have they're located around, oh, is it Plymouth?
They're in
all-
Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in
Right.
Plymouth, and
But because we're going to need someone to come to meetings.
Oh, yeah, I
You
understand
know,
totally.
I'm saying Boston South,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know, somewhere Boston, Worcester South. And we-
The only alternative is Zoom, but you truly want to be present with them.
if there's plans being presented, Zoom has definite
Oh,
drawbacks
yeah,
there.
that's definitely, yeah.
So, no, I think it's in person is,
Yeah.
and there would be side meetings. It wouldn't just be our RDA meetings.
Oh, yeah.
There's-
Well, look at this
Right.
review thing we're talking about, and
Yeah,
you'd
side
you'd want a
meetings.
representative there.
So, Savory, if you can maybe figure out the process too, do we go to RFP or,
Okay.
I mean, I think Rick told me no, but I can't be sure. I was asking him a lot of questions.
What did Rick, do you think Rick said just find someone and hire them?
I think so, but can't be sure.
Okay.
But it might be better to put it out to bid.
You know,
I,
maybe bidding isn't the right wording,
okay,
because bidding, we're kind of responsibility says go to the low bidder, but maybe that's not what we want. Maybe
not if it's not our money.
No, we just want,
No.
we just want the better and the best.
maybe it's an interview process.
Okay,
you know,
Yeah, I would tell you,
to
like
get them
a
to
screening
come in.
committee, a screening
Oh.
committee.
Well, just us. We'll be the
Just
screening
us.
committee. We'd like to
We're the screening
have
committee,
someone come
we're
in,
the-
tell us what they've done,
Yeah,
what's their history,
exactly.
and then we make a choice from there.
That's what we want, so we're the screeners. Screamers, screeners.
All right, so I'm going to include Beals and Thomas as one, and I'll look for 2 others,
okay.
Yeah.
but not Fuss and O'Neill.
And then do we send them letters of inquiry or,
Yes.
No, an RFP.
No, because RFP
Oh, that's
requires
too
money.
formal? Oh, okay.
We-
Then is
I
that-
don't think that
I
we
think
should.
we have to do that.
I
Well,
think
that,
it's
let me just tell you, when I talked to Marlene, she used to be the town planner, but now she's the assistant town administrator. I personally called her, that's how I got that person's name, and she told me that in Plymouth, that's the people that they use. And then she was very open about we should have an RFP, and she talked about the what do you call those people? They have Shelby up in the town hall, what the heck's she spoke,
procurement officer.
procurement.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You go through the procurement officer, and they prepare what you want through an RFP, and then that's how you get all this information coming back for you. That's,
what?
you said the process, and I said, I don't know if we have one, but Shelby told me she was now known as but she's only the secretary. Elaine is the middle person, and the higher person is Rick.
I will ask Rick tomorrow morning.
Thank you. That's what she said. That Shelby gave it.
Yeah.
That she said.
And I've had a conversation, and there's a little confusion, but I think now that we're a little more focused on what exactly we're looking for and what we need, they'll be able to guide us.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm sure what Marlene is talking about as the Assistant Town Administrator for Plymouth is things that are run by the town of Plymouth. We're semi-autonomous. So we may not have to follow the same procurement rules. We can probably do things on our own.
Well, she did say that. She said we have a broader range because of we are an authority.
Yeah.
And but she did tell us that this is the process that she recommends, what they do, and she was our planner, so she's well aware of this URP.
Yeah, I understand that, but I believe that in the cases of municipal bids, that an RFP is required so that you have 3 bids come in and you have to take the lowest, or not the
actually-
lowest with a good reason.
No,
Or not.
well, couple of points with, I did this a lot in the school department.
Okay.
You can have an invitation for bid, or you can have an RFP. I don't know if this group is required, but I think we got to find that out specifically if we need it, because everything done by a municipality has to be put out to bid. The invitation for bid is you spec a job out, and then it has to go to the low bidder. RFP, request for proposal, is you have a series of criteria. There's a series of rating the answers, and you do not have to pick the low bidder on an RFP. You can pick the entity that best answers your questions and gets the best rating on your criteria.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if we have to or not, but we have to find out the answer to that question, because if we make an assumption that we don't, and then we go out and do this and actually hire somebody or whatever, that could come back as null and void, and you wouldn't even be able to pay these people because the process would not have been followed correctly.
I understand that, and that makes perfect sense for a situation where, like a school or municipality. I think that what we have to be aware of in this case is that we are not hiring them. The developer is. The developer is paying them. We are not. The town of Carver is not. The RDA is not. That is coming.
Okay,
the
but-
money's being paid by Hillwood.
And so it's not municipal funds, but it's
Correct.
still, I'd still like to get the definitive answer for that.
I'm not saying we shouldn't,
Yeah,
but I don't think that.
Rick would know.
Do you want to call Rick and talk?
Call Rick tomorrow.
Can you talk, I mean, you can talk money with him.
Right, but the whole point of this is that Hillwood or whoever, Route 44 or Hillwood, foots the bill and in effect hires them, because that's the way it started with the police chief, the fire chief, that the developer hires them, but they work for us. And that's how.
So does the chief already have a consultant?
He had talked to he had the names of the people North Andover used, which Hillwood, that's their project.
Okay.
And they used Langen engineers or whoever in Boston, and the 2 newer people were names that had worked on the North Andover project for Langan, Langan, and they are now working for Hillwood. So they were actually engineers, separate, consultants
Yeah.
on that project, and then they were hired away to Hillwood.
Okay.
So, that was the only other name I had, but they're in Boston, so.
All right, you have that was for the fire?
No, that was when they were here. Oh, no, they weren't the fire, they were just the consultants on the project for the town, under
Okay.
Langen. And then they were
Okay.
hired by Hillwood after the project.
All right.
So is the chief looking at Langdon?
No, the chief was, I don't know who their
Oh, okay.
fire consultant was, but he has spoken with the North Andover fire chief and walked through that and has that name in. I think he said he had one other one.
So,
And that's his deal? I mean,
so is Hillwood going to be, has already said to the chief, we're going to pay for that? Has he
I
already
don't
got
know.
that approval?
that part I don't know.
Oh,
Well, that's the question that,
Yeah.
you know, when Sharon talked.
When I find out, if Hillwood, I mean, if Chief Weston can pick up the phone and say, what's your availability this summer, to, you know, the names that he has chosen, we'll find out the process through Pat and Rick tomorrow morning. So if you can let me know that
I will.
in email.
Right,
Yep.
but the language, you know, the language of what they said, help pay instead of pay for.
Right.
Sharon's going to ask that question not only for our consultant, but for the fire departments as well, so that we're clear that.
right, you
that
want to get it,
developer
yeah,
pays
you want, for
the full
both.
boat.
I mean, I don't know that the North Carver Water District won't need some other kind of assistant, professional assistant, as they, you know, evaluate the capabilities of what they may be looking for.
Maybe they,
I mean, I honestly don't know.
maybe they use Fussin and O'Neill. I don't know what the water district uses. I can't imagine them then not using somebody.
These are all.
Well, they have a
good
hired
questions.
person anyway that works for them full-time in the North Carver. It's not just the, you know, the committee.
Oh, I understand that, but this is a much bigger project that is going to be requiring a lot of water, and I just want to be sure that,
Oh, yeah.
you know, if the North Carver Water District feels they need some kind of an engineer, a different engineer in there, then I want to be sure that they have the opportunity to get that.
A lot of it already has been done through MIPA.
Yeah.
A lot of it
Yeah.
has already been done through MIPA.
All right, so should we set our next meeting for the
24.
24th? Is that Thursday good for everyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know you're, I know he's on
Yeah.
vacation, but you're not yet.
6 o'clock and 24th, okay.
So 6 o'clock on the 24th?
Yeah.
I know. At some point, Thursdays aren't going to be good for me.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that.
That's why our
But you
previous
said
meetings
August,
were on
right?
Tuesdays, because when I joined, it was kind of, when I joined.
But you gave us a date that was.
It was
kind of
August.
out- projected out.
Yeah, I know, but yes,
I mean, you still go to the meets, or whatever you call those things.
yeah. But
But
when-
you're going to be a key player, so you have to.
when I joined the RDA,
Oh,
the
okay.
meetings were on different nights.
That's right. yeah.
And we were all trying to figure, it was you, me, Will, Brian,
Brian.
and we were trying to figure a date, and I said, well, Tuesday works best for me.
Yeah, we
And-
said,
and
okay,
we said,
we'll do
okay,
it, we'll
Tuesday.
do it.
So
Yeah.
that's
That
why.
worked for Will.
Because he was on a lot
Yeah,
of
planning
boards,
board.
that's why.
Right, so, yeah, I know, we'll do Thursdays for now, and then we're fluid.
Right.
Is there anything else anybody needs? Everybody have their
What's the
assignments?
next- What was the next meeting in July? Because I can't, I won't be, I'll be in Carver,
I
but-
think I knew that. I had the 15th.
Yeah, I'm not available that. I'll be in Carver, but I'll have 80 house guests.
I like,
You're having some kind of a reunion.
I have a party every year.
I think we should
Of my
just get a table there.
Yeah, well, Zoom me in.
A Zoom meeting, yeah, come on.
We'll set the next meeting next time. Those dates that I had given you were just parameters. So
That's the
we'll set-
availability of this room as well.
Well, if Area 58 will tape downstairs now, we can always go back to 4.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Really?
I thought Rich said yes, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When are these things coming?
Okay.
I don't know.
We need these shelters.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you.